This is Malassezia. In this vast forest, he has everything he needs. Free food and accommodation. A comfortable life indeed. But wait, who is he? Malassezia is a type of yeast, or fungus, that actually lives on our scalp. This little guy causes dandruff in about half of all people. But why do some people get more dandruff than others? So how can we get rid of dandruff? We often think of ourselves as a single individual, but in reality, we're more like a colony. Millions of tiny microorganisms live on our skin. Right after we're born, the Malassezia yeast finds its place on our body and settles in. The hair follicles on our body are the main hubs for these microorganisms, especially for Malassezia, which loves to hang out there. That's because our hair follicles have glands that produce an oil called sebum, something Malassezia finds very attractive. This sebum is believed to help keep our hair moisturized and strong. Malassezia has evolved to feed on the proteins and oils found on our skin. Because our scalp has so many follicles that produce lots of sebum, it's one of the oiliest parts of our body. And that's exactly why it's also where this yeast is most abundant. When this fungus feeds on the oils in our scalp, it can lead to dandruff. But how exactly? This sebum, or scalp oil, is made up of both saturated and unsaturated fats. The saturated fats are neatly packed, while the unsaturated fats have bent shapes, so they aren't packed as neatly. Our little villain, the Malassezia fungus, breaks down the oils into smaller parts to feed on them. But it only eats the saturated fats, leaving the unsaturated fats behind. These leftover unsaturated fats seep into the skin on our scalp, damaging it and weakening its protective barrier. As a result, moisture escapes and the scalp becomes dry. Our body recognizes this problem and responds to it. That's why we get inflammation and itch on our scalp. To repair the damaged skin, the body produces new skin cells. Normally, the outermost layer of our skin, the epidermis, completely renews itself every 2 to 3 weeks, as old cells are shed and new ones are produced. This happens on such a tiny scale that we can't notice it with the naked eye. However, when dandruff occurs, the damaged skin starts producing new cells at a much faster rate to repair itself. Since these cells don't have enough time to mature properly, they clump together with the oily deposits around the hair roots. These then break off and appear as the white flakes we recognize as dandruff. In short, dandruff is the result of the fungus feeding on our scalp's oil and our skin's reaction to it.